chapter is force. First question arises, what is a force? Though it is not in the syllabus, but we must know. We say force is an external cause or external agency that can change the state of a body or that can change the inertia of a body. That is called a force. What is the SI unit of force? The SI unit of force is Newton, if you remember that. SI unit, you have done in the lower class, SI unit of force is Newton. Newton denoted by capital N. What is the CGS unit of force? CGS means centimeter gram second one. CGS unit of force is what? You should have some idea. CGS unit of force is dyne. DYNE, dyne, and there is no abbreviation, no symbol for it. You have to write full dyne. How is the SI and CGS unit of force related to one another? Do you know the value? 1 Newton makes how much of dynes? We write that is 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power of 5 dynes. The value we must know. 1 Newton makes 10 to the power of 5 dynes. You have done in the lower class a brush up of a revision of the lower classes we are doing just now. So 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power of 5 dynes. What can a force do? Force can produce motion in a body. Force can produce motion in a body. But we have different type of motions. Mainly we have two types of motion. Motion in a straight line. Motion of a body in a straight line is called translational motion, or we call it linear motion. And motion of a body along a circular path is called circular motion, as simple as that. When a body is not hinged, like is not clamped or not pivoted, we use a term called pivoted, and you apply a force on it, then the body will be moving in a straight line path like this, as the body is not pivoted. For example, we are having a surface like this and a body is lying here like this. There is no hinge provided to it. We will apply a force like this. We will find the body will move in the same direction as the force. Such a motion is called translational motion. Translational motion of a body in a straight line path is called translational motion. When does the body have this kind of motion? When the body is unhinged or unpivoted, then the body will have translational motion. But when the body is hinged, the body is pivoted at a particular point and you apply a force, then the body will not be moving in a straight line. The body will not have a translational motion, or a straight line motion will not be there. So what kind of motion will be there? The body will start turning about the particular point. That can happen. So the effect of force on a body which is pivoted or which is hinged is that the force can produce turning effect in the body. The turning effect of force in a body is called moment of force. Your syllabus mainly begins with that. Moment of force. Moment of force. This is also called torque. Moment of force or torque, T-O-R-Q-E, torque. What is moment of force? We say the turning effect of force on a body is called moment of force or torque. We measure the amount of torque. How do we measure the amount of torque? It is measured by, please do write down, it is measured by the product. Moment of force or torque is measured by the product of the magnitude of force, product of the force you can say, or you can say product of the magnitude of force and the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force, perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the pivoted point, PIOVOTD, pivoted point. So I'll show a diagram. We are having a body, it is hinged over here like this, it is clamped over here, or it is hinged, or it is pivoted over here at this point. This point is suppose O. We are giving a force over here like this. We are giving a force maybe like this, or maybe in the upward direction like this. Where is the line of action of force? This line of action of force touching this line is over here. Perpendicular distance we have to take, this distance I write as D. You can write the distance as D, or you can write the distance as R, small r. Therefore we have the formula, therefore we write as MOF. MOF means moment of force, or torque denoted by T. We can denote the torque by symbol T. The formula of T will be F into D. This force multiplied by this distance. So that is the formula of the torque or the moment of force. When does the body start turning about the pivoted point? When we apply a force perpendicular, or when the line of action of force is perpendicular to the body, then only the turning effect will take place. Turning effect will not take place when the force is parallel to when the line of action of force is parallel or is in the same direction as the distance. Then the turning effect will not take place. What I mean to say, suppose this body is hinged over here. We are giving a force either in the upward direction, there is a turning effect, or you are giving a force in the downward direction, there is a turning effect like this. But if we give a force in this direction like this way, the force we are giving exactly in the same direction as the distance D. What do you see? You see that there will be any turning effect in it? Answer is no, turning effect will not take place. Because this force or the line of action of force has to be perpendicular to the distance. Then only the turning effect or the rotation will take place. So moment of force or the torque formula we have F into D. The SI unit of torque, or which is same as MOF, is what can be the SI unit of torque or the moment of force? We can see the formula, and from there we can write out the SI unit. The formula is F into D. What is F? Force. And what is D? D is the distance. What is the SI unit of force? As I wrote in the beginning, SI unit of force is Newton. So the SI unit of force I write in Newton. Distance SI unit is meter. So the SI unit of torque or the moment of force is Newton meter. NM. And what can be CGS unit? CGS unit of the moment of force of the torque. What can be the CGS unit? What is the CGS unit of force? We will be writing dyne. Force is the CGS unit is dyne, and this is centimeters. We write dyne centimeter. The SI unit of torque is, or the moment of force, is Newton meter, whereas CGS unit is dyne centimeter. How are these two units related to each other? We will be writing like this: 1 Nm, 1 Newton meter. First we will be writing a 1 Nm, 1 Newton meter equal to 1 Newton meter equal to. Let us change it into CGS unit, that is dyne centimeter. Newton will change in dynes. How do we change? 10 to the power of 5 dyne we like. Meter we are changing in centimeter. How can we change meter into centimeter? 1 meter makes how much centimeter? 100. So here we will be writing into 100, 100 centimeter. 100 means 10 to the power of 2. 10 to the power of 2 and 10 to the power of 5 all together become 10 to the power of 7. Dyne centimeter. 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power of 7 dyne centimeter. This is the relationship. This one came in the year 2020. This year only this question had come in physics question paper in ICC. Question was define moment of force. Give the definition. You can say the turning effect of force is called moment of force or the torque turning effect. And you can elaborate your answer. And it is measured by the product is multiplication, product of the magnitude of the force and the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force, perpendicular distance d from the pivoted point. And the second question was how is SI unit related to its CGS unit? Then we have to write 1 Newton is 10 to the power of 7 dyne centimeter. Only you have to write this. You may not show how it comes, but this is the way. Sorry, 1 Newton meter you should write. 1 Nm. 1 Nm is equal to this way, 10 to the power of 7 dyne centimeter. 1 Newton meter. You may have a question 1 Nm, define 1 Newton meter. Question may come like this. Define, give the definition of 1 Nm. How to define 1 Nm? Somehow you have to mention Nm is coming for torque or the turning effect. You have to mention in your definition, you have to mention turning effect. And by how much force? 1 Newton force. And how much should be the distance between them? 1 meter. Then 1 into 1 multiplies, the answer will come 1 Nm. We say it is the amount of torque or moment of force. You can use any one of the words. It is the amount of torque produced or generated. You can write any one of the words you can use. It is the amount of torque generated by a force of 1 Newton whose line of action is at a distance 1 meter, whose line of action is at a distance 1 meter, 1 meter from the pivoted point, P-I-V-O-T-D, pivoted point. Okay. So that is how we can give the definition of 1 Newton meter. Okay. Now, is the moment of force or torque a scalar quantity or vector quantity? What are scalars? We say scalars are those which has only magnitude but no direction. And vectors are those quantities or those physical quantities which have both magnitude and a specific direction or direction. So what type of quantity is torque or the moment of force? We say it is a vector quantity. Mention that. Torque is a vector quantity. Torque is a vector quantity That means it is going to have directions. It has normally two directions. Turning effect will take place. So turning effect will take place either in the anti-clock direction or in clockwise direction. There can be only two directions. Normally it is a convention, it is a tradition that the anti-clockwise moment of force or anti-clockwise torque is taken positive. It is assigned a positive sign. Whereas clockwise moment or clockwise torque is assigned a negative sign. Please do write down this. Clockwise torque is assigned. Clockwise torque is assigned a negative sign, assigned a negative is minus, you can give a minus sign, negative sign, whereas anti-clockwise torque is assigned a positive sign. One year in ICC they had asked this question. The wheel of a car is rotating in clockwise direction. The wheel of a car is rotating in a clockwise direction. What can be the sign of its torque or sign of its moment of force? The clockwise direction mentioned there, that means it will be negative. If it is anti-clockwise, it will have a sign positive. So moment of force or the torque is a vector quantity. Okay, now the factors on which the moment of force or the torque depends. So we say it depends. Look at the formula. In the formula we are having two things, F and D. That is T, that is torque depends on two factors, as it looks like in the formula. What are the two factors? Force and D. But what kind of distance is D? This distance we write perpendicular distance. Normally we write as torque is equal to F into perpendicular distance. We write perpendicular distance. The distance has to be perpendicular. Distance, if the distance is parallel to the force, the value of torque becomes 0. No turning effect will take place. That is, torque depends on these two factors. It depends upon the magnitude of force and also it depends upon the perpendicular distance between the line of action of force and the pivoted point. You can see that also. The torque formula we have F into perpendicular distance. If the distance is parallel distance is like this way. You know what is the value of torque then? 0. No matter how large force you apply, but the value of torque becomes 0. You are having a door and which you want to open. So we are having a handle and then we rotate the handle, we apply the force on the handle, we open and close the door. But if you apply the force this way, the door hinge is over here, hinge means pivoted point, and you give a force like this, will you be able to open it? The answer is no, because the force which we are giving is parallel to the distance. When the force is parallel to the distance, the value of torque is 0. So on what factor does torque or the moment of force depends? It depends on two factors, force and the perpendicular distance. The distance has to be perpendicular. This is the sign of perpendicular, this is the sign of parallel. Normally we write parallel lines like this we write. More the force, more the torque, or more the turning effect, the value of moment of force will be large. More the distance, more the value of torque. But one interesting fact over here you will find, when this is constant, when torque is same in both the cases, then how will force and perpendicular distance depending on each other? Are they directly proportional or they are inversely proportional? In physics, there are two types of proportionality. One is directly proportional, one is inversely proportional. What is the meaning of directly proportional? Directly proportional means when one quantity increases, other quantity also will increase. When one decreases, another one also decreases. If I write like this, A proportional, this is the sign of proportionality, A proportional to B, that means when your B is increased, A also will increase. When B decreases, then A will also decrease. Same way, inversely proportional we write like this, 1 upon B, like A proportional to 1 by B, that is inversely proportional. What does it mean? That is when B increases, then A decreases. When B decreases, then A increases. The reverse will happen. Inverse will happen or reverse will happen. I mean opposite will happen. Same way, between F and D, what type of relationships are there? This D will be bringing on the other side of the equation, it will come in divide like this. What does it mean? That means F and D, they are inversely proportional. Therefore we write F is inversely proportional to the perpendicular distance. F is inversely proportional to perpendicular distance. This time perpendicular sign I am giving. You may not give, but it's understood to be a perpendicular distance. The distance cannot be parallel distance. If the distance is parallel, the value of torque is 0. There is no question of torque there. So, according to this relationship, what do you see? You will find that when D increases, then F decreases. When D decreases, then F increases. Just opposite will happen. Reverse will happen. Suppose you want to turn a body by, this is the body, here is the body, okay, from here till here is the body and pivoted point is here, in two different ways. In one case we are having less distance and in one case we are having more distance, large distance. In which case the amount of force will be less, the amount of force applied on the body will be less. In which case the value of F will be less, the case in which the distance is more. When the distance is large, that is perpendicular distance is large, then the value of force will be less, and when the distance is less, then force will be more. This principle is used for producing turning effect on any object which is hinged by applying the least amount of effort or by applying the least effort. This is the principle used. We have many result test questions based on this fact. You can think and answer. Like very often they ask the question like this: why handle in a door is placed at the edge? Why there is a handle placed at the edge of the door? At one side of the door we place the handle. Why? The reason is we are increasing the distance. This value of D, when you place the handle at the edge, you are going for the maximum distance of the line of action of force. When the distance is maximum, then what will be minimum? Force. So that is how we are minimizing the amount of force or the amount of effort in order to produce turning effect in the door, either to open or to close. We are doing that, or we are doing so by applying the least amount of effort. Just think, if the force, the distance is less, where you are applying the force from the hinge, that is, you are applying the force somewhere in the middle of the door. You are applying the force at the middle of the door, you have to give a large amount of force in comparison, means comparatively. Then only the turning effect will be produced in the door. And if you apply the force at a distance very, very close to the hinge, the amount of force will be too large. The amount of force required will be too large and you may not be able to produce any turning effect in it. So that is the idea behind. So where we want to produce a turning effect by the least amount of force, we have to go for the maximum distance. So you can have many recent test questions based on this fact or on this principle. You know, there is a jack, or we say jack screw, which is used to change the tire of a car when the tire gets punctured. Why a jack screw is provided with a long handle? There is a very long handle we use in order to turn the screw of the jack. What is the reason behind? Because to turn the jack, because jack is supporting a big load, I mean very heavy load of the car, and we are having a long handle, so that when the distance is more, the amount of force or amount of effort required will be less in order to produce the turning effect in it. So with the least amount of effort, we are able to turn the jack screw and lift the car. So that is the idea. Screwdrivers at home we use to open and close the nut. Longer the size of the screwdriver, smaller, more convenient it is. With the less force, we can easily open or tighten a nut. If the screwdriver is small in size, so difficult. Wrenches, spanners, they all are provided with long handle. And the advantage of long handle is that long handle provides a larger distance, and hence it reduces the amount of effort needed to produce a turning effect in it. So this principle is a very advantageous principle which we use in our daily lives. The principle of this one, that is, for a given torque, for a constant torque, F is inversely proportional to the perpendicular distance. Larger the perpendicular distance, less is the amount of force, less is the distance, more is the amount of force required. So our today's lesson is this much. We will continue further with this. This is quite interesting chapter, and we have practical applications, and there will be numerical problems also.